That's right. It's another late night and time for another reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag, and tonight we're pulling out Cheat Day! Just Giggle It sketch number 19, directed, written, and edited, all by the same guy, the great and talented Brian Wiley. Yeah, Tiki, what did you
Yeah, we
think?
haven't had a Brian Wiley showcase in a while.
Yeah.
Dragon, say it with me. Cheat,
Cheat Day!
cheat day,
Cheat Day!
cheat
Cheat
day.
Day! Cheat Day! Cheat Day!
All right. So Dragon, this is of course part of the. I don't know if there's like an official title for it or anything. I don't even know if we've clarified this as like what are we like
The month of Pon, it's a season. Being for us, it's like a season, but it's kind of like a month and change in all honesty. But it's going to be kind of a season of the season of Poncio, the great season of Poncio. Poncio
and this
one.
is this is already season 5 of the grab bag, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we are a little liberal with how many
We're
episodes we
fast
find
and
a
loose with
season.
our terminology of the seasons, but you know, if you're tracking it, season 1 was like those 10 initial sketches, kind of like the Mount Rushmores of Just Giggle It, if you will. Season 2 was, of course, the Joshua Thomas side projects, mostly Watching You and Erase Away. Season
Mhm.
3, fan requests, of course. Season 4 was kind of like the dark and creepy month to go along with our October. And here we are in season 5, which is all about Alexander Poncioooooo.
Poncio, Poncio, Alexander Poncio.
Oh God, Dragon! I sent Poncio a friend request on Facebook, and he hasn't responded yet. And like, I have to wonder if that's because A, maybe he just doesn't go on Facebook very much. B, maybe he just has no idea who I am. But Dragon, in my own little headcanon, which I hate to think about, it's like he listens to these podcasts and he's just like, oh man, that guy's like too into me.
Well, just if it helps at all, I know Joshua Thomas loves it when we talk about Poncio. I don't know if that's because it creeps out Poncio or not. I'm gonna hope it's the former. That just, he just Joshua Thomas has always been lovingly saying to us that, he loves basically us. Our constant praise of Poncio has gotten him to appreciate Poncio himself, and of course Poncio, one of his best pals. And I don't know. I think that's kind of nice. I would kind of give him that place. I don't know.
Well, like I said, Dragon, in my own headcanon somewhere, it's just like Alex Poncio getting a friend request from me and like, oh, that's the podcast guy. They talk about me way too much. I'm just gonna steer clear of that.
The old adage of like if you sneeze if somebody's talking about you. I mean, Ponzi might actually be dead because we haven't seen him in a while because we talk about him so much, and it must be like sneezing until he passes out or something.
All right. So cheat day, Dragon. Dragon, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate to be negative on any of these, and I'm not gonna be like overly critical on this one or anything. But I gotta be honest, this one didn't really quite do it for me.
That's fair. This one, it's not a slam dunk for me, but I do. There's a lot I like about it because I really like Brian Wiley's directing style. I think Brian Wiley has a really distinct style and kind of the tones of Just Giggle. There's really something special there when you get a Wiley sketch.
Yeah, I mean, the directing's on point. My biggest criticism with this might just be there is a build to it in classic Just Giglet fashion. Just Giglet, as we've kind of dissected on the grab bag, is very much they're very much in the spirit of kind of like taking a core premise and really running with it. We saw that with the very first sketch we ever reviewed on the grab bag, Pretty Flowers. um but by the same token, Dragon, with this one, I feel like this one is like Pretty Flowers light. You know what I mean? It's like Diet Coke Pretty Flowers, where it's got the same formula as Pretty Flowers with it's like each scene kind of builds upon the gag until we kind of reach an apex. But I don't know, man. It feels like basically I'm just not wowed by the humor in this one. There's nothing in this one that makes me go that makes me kind of crack up, honestly. And I think it's a little repetitive.
Well, I mean, in regards to the cheat day of it all, that's the thing that kills me about this. Just again, so simple, but just the repetitiveness of cheat day. I mean, that's what kills me about this one. But
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Anyway, but before we get into it, first off, Josh Thomas was just giggle it was gracious enough to tell us some background for this one, so we have some background to share.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool, cool.
Okay, so here's the story behind Cheat Day. Real simple. Just a few little tidbits here. Is that this was made during the early days of Just Giggle. You know, they're 19. You know, it's the 19th sketch, but a lot of times they shoot them out of order, back to back. And I found out that in the early days of Just Giggle, they would shoot up to three, like a minimum of 3 sketches in the course of 2 days on a weekend.
Oh, wow.
That's production wise. That's
crazy.
phenomenal. And again, like roughly, like the first, let's say it's round off and say maybe like the first season of Just Giggle, which is roughly, it's at least, I don't know, this is either, I think this is, I think like the first season's like 20 episodes or so. So I think this like makes the cutoff like in one season, you know, like they have such a great production schedule, like 3 sketches at a minimum over the course of 2 days. That's astounding. That's astonishing. It really is a great turnaround. And apparently there are a lot of references to season one. We've been doing them out of order, so again, we're not going to catch all the references. So again, I couldn't find a lot myself. I hear there are a lot of Easter eggs in this one, but basically, I think as further we get in the grab bag, maybe we'll call back to this and say, "Oh yeah, and that's in Cheat Day, you know, something like
that." And Dragon, that's also one of the things I want to kind of point out here is, you know, I'm not crazy about this one, but part of that is because it is a very early Just Giggle It sketch. And not to say that, like, oh, early Just Giggle It is crap. No, obviously not. We love a lot of early Just Giggle It stuff. But, you know, this was before the days of, like, the cat lover or the Disney princes in real life. You know what I mean? This is, like, or they got really ambitious with their production design and their costuming and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like, you know, like I feel like for that reason, I kind of give an asterisk next to me not really this all that much because you know you got to give it some leeway. Like I said, I didn't hate this one by any means. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be overly negative, but I will say it's probably one of the sketches that made me laugh the least out of the ones we've covered on the grab bag so far. I mean, probably, you know, with the asterisk of watching you because episodes were, you know, I mean, they were great, but they weren't very funny. And you know which episodes I'm talking about. Anyways.
Yeah, and again, like watching you, it's like it's divided. It's basically one big pilot, you know, chopped up into 6 or into roughly 7 parts. Anyway, so getting back to one last thing. So this is interesting. I finally got an official ruling on this. I'm waiting. I finally just kind of posed the direct question. And so, the early days of Just Giggle It, they had around this time. This is where they had the most kind of players from Just Giggle It. So what they were trying to do with this one, bro, is kind of the side goal of making this sketch was to have as much of the Just Giggle It cast and crew in this as possible. So that's why you have a lot of characters on screen at the same time. That's why we have like Sipka and Joshua Thomas kind of making a cameo in the thing. That's why they try to get as many of the players as they could in a video. And of course, also we have Brian Wiley in this as well. And basically over the years, Just Giggle It, I kind of found out that currently any brand new Just Giggle It sketches that we get, like anything they're doing currently, they've trimmed down over the years. And I'm not saying it's for any untoward reason. I'm saying that's just because people move on, people get other things to do, and of course some people move away, and it happens. And to my recollection, from when I was answered here, I believe it's Joshua Thomas, Piper Hinson, Katie Garland, Poncioooooo, and and of course Nicole Dubois. So I believe that's right now the current operating staff, or at least the main cast of Just Giggle. I believe all of our fun players that we have such a good time with here. A lot of our recurring faces aren't really around anymore, and basically the Harley, Quinn, and Joker crew is all that's really left of Just Giggle It. And again, they're still turning out some phenomenal stuff with what they have. Again, Just Giggle It, I mean, again, it's kind of fun looking at the errors of Just Giggle It. When again, like it's kind of the early SNL beginnings is kind of what we're talking about here in a way. It's like, again,
it is pretty much SNL. It's like mini SNL.
Yeah, it's like early SNL, and of course, just again, it kind of evolves as the years, as the seasons go by, I guess, in a way. So, all that said,
And pretty much any Just Giggle It sketch is going to put current SNL to shame.
oh, easily, yeah. I mean, look, I mean, even believe me, there's one Just Giggle It sketch we'll get to at some point, which I gotta see. Like, I wonder if how that stacks with this. And I was like, okay, maybe not every Just Giggle It sketch, but a whole like at least.
Oh, I know which one you're thinking of.
At least 80% of the Just Giggle It sketches can hold up to SNL.
You're really adverse to that one, Dragon.
I really am.
I think it's the fact that we're inevitably going to have to cover it as a tie-in.
I don't think it's helping, but I still think I think you're in the find fault in me saying, you know what, not for me. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so before we get any further here, we should talk about.
Yes, Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world.
Yeah.
That's right. If you like comedy, if you like zaniness, then my God, you're going to like this show. But you know what? This show gives you something on top of all the comedy and zaniness. This show gives you plot. This show gives you drama. This show gives you suspense. It gives you building character arcs. And it gives that to you all with the added addition of the starring roles being two of comics' most iconic characters. Joshua Thomas plays the Joker in a way that Dragon and I can only define as pretty much a definitive modern Joker in a way, where it kind of takes elements of every single Joker that we've ever seen and melds them into this perfect amalgamation of a performance that's both intense and funny. Of course, we've had a couple different Harley Quinns over the years. Nicole DuBois is the main Harley Quinn nowadays. And Dragon, we're up to episode 5 now, but in order to get to episode 6, what do we have to do? What's our mission statement here?
Well, folks, getting to the Jerry's kids of it all here, what you need to do is you need to watch episode 5 a lot. You need to tell your friends about it, tell your neighbors, tell your kids school teachers. You got to tell everybody about this because they're going to watch it. And we get up to 1 million, you get more episodes. You get 6. You'll eventually.
PTA meeting. Now I'm just thinking about a PTA meeting where Harley Quinn and the Joker gets brought up.
Oh my God! I'm just imagining the Joker or Joshua Thomas at a PTA meeting, like this, like extending little pointer sticks. Okay, so there's the video. All right, and you're gonna click the button. You're gonna watch the video. We get up to 1 million, and we poke. He points like the side chalkboard. Basically, it's literally like the scene in episode 5 in the Danny Boy sequence. It's like where he's like pointing to what's funny and what's not funny. It's like, okay, this is what you do.
Basically, Joshua Thomas is hijacking his niece's PTA meeting.
Oh my God, yes.
Like he bursts in on his niece and his parents, and he's like, you know what? This is all important. This is all well and good for your education, but I've got something that I need to educate you about, teacher.
He basically just crashes it like Tony Stark style, wearing sunglasses. Okay, hey there, kiddo. How's it going? Okay, listen, guys. Let me just erase this little board here. Take a little marker. Shh. Okay. So thank you all for coming, and I'm sure you're all Joker and Harley Quinn fans, because why wouldn't you be? Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go on your little laptop there, and just let's draw a little smiley face there. I want you to go watch Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. Watch it through it because it's a really great show. I would know because I helped make it. And you're going to get there. You're going to get to the end of that little playlist there. We're just going to watch the episode. You need to click and exercise. You're going to get to episode 5. Now, that's the big important one. That's we need to get to 1 million. You get to 1 million. We're not going to send you a publisher's clearinghouse check. Oh, no, far from that. We're going to give you more episodes because you're going to be hooked at that point. When you get hooked at that point, you're going to watch episode 6. And, folks, I'm going to tease you a little bit here. Here are a few pages from the Just Giggle community page. You're going to see those pages. You're going to be dazzled. You're going to be wondering where we're going to go next with it. And then you're going to have a little taste of where we're going to go next with it. And once we get there, we're going to get 1 million views again. We're going to get to the next one, and it'll be amazing. It'll be one of the best Joker Harley Quinn fan series you've ever seen. Only on Just Giggle It. All right.
Yeah, that's exactly how it would go down, Dragon.
Of course, it's like applause, tears, and everybody. It's so wonderful. He collapses a little point. He drops like a mic drop. And he's like, "I'm out." Sipka, get the car. Anyway.
Oh, us and our crazy hypotheticals.
Anyway, so all hypothetical, but the thing is not hypothetical. Folks, watch episode 5. It's really good. Debatably the best out of the episodes so far. You watch it, you get more episodes. So don't just pose the blind question, like, how do we get more episodes? Where are the episodes? Where's more? I want more. You can have more. Just watch it a lot.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so let's dive right into this thing, Dragon. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we start with this Ren and Stimpy music. Now, basically, there's like, I don't know if they pulled directly from the Nickelodeon through SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy specifically. They have these sound cues that they play, and they're very much like kind of like the background music, like dun, 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 dun. It's just pulling from kind of it's kind of a, exactly kind of pulled from some classic. Basically, it's classic cartoon music and feels very directly like Ren and Stimpy. And given the psychodrama nature of this sketch in its DNA, it does feel very Ren and Stimpy-esque to me. Did you get any of that, or is it just me?
No, yeah, I definitely got that.
All right, so let's see, like dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's pretty much what we get in the opening here. It's like the old like what's Stimpy up to, and he's going by Ren reading his paper. It's something along those. It's kind of like one of those scenes. It's kind of the way it plays here. So what we have is that dun, 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 like the happy-go-lucky '50s commercial music plays. All happy-go-lucky and such. Nicole Stone, who I love seeing Nicole Stone, by the way. She's so darn perky and delightful. And yeah, Nicole Stone, of course, very memorably from One Night Stand. I still think it's the zenith of the Nicole Stone stuff we've seen. She's been great in a lot of things, like the Two Brothers. Or My Two Brothers. The whole Two Brothers thing. She's always great when she pops. So that good old Nicole Stone. So anyway, so Nicole Stone, she's going to the fridge and she's grabbing a cupcake. With her cupcake in hand, she goes to the couch, and a wild Poncio appears. No, seriously, Poncio's on the couch. And so Poncio is there. He's sitting about because Nicole Stone's character is named Becky. I have a mini name rant. We're gonna get there, but we have Becky. Poncio's sitting there, and he's asking the very direct question. You're like, "Hey, it's a cupcake. Isn't that against your new diet?" And her response is, "Yes, but it's my cheat day. I can eat whatever I want so long as it's today." Very nice and kind of pleasant like. And then
how such a casual remark could balloon so quickly in her face, Dragon.
And this is the thing, again, we're praising Poncio a lot this month, and here's the thing I really got to praise Poncio. There are two things I really want to kind of call out for Poncio here. One, again, a different shade of Poncio we're exploring this episode is Poncio taking the inane line and adding kind of this, and planting a seed with a line here when he says, "You can do that." And I love the slow burn of his mind being blown in the music, the whole you can do that. Dun, dun, but as that's happening, you can see it on his face of he's like, "Oh my God, my whole existence has been a lie." It's like one of those looks. It's like I found the key to life right now. Cheat day. It just again is mind being blown up like, oh my God, this cheat day is gonna blow everybody's socks off but again it's like not all hitting him at once, like the slow realization of he's found the crack in the system in the matrix of life. It's wonderful. Again, it's him taking that choice and just running, and basically that choice gives the DNA of the comedy for the rest of the thing. It kind of leads you again. It's the through line. The through line gets seeded with that bit. So if that line doesn't make it, it's just the whole thing's going to unravel. Okay, and again, this feels very Brian Wiley in the comedy too, because Brian Wiley, as we've seen in the other things he's done, he's very much kind of he's into the old school comedies, into the he's very much into the again the Just Giggle It zone is very Just Giggle It and the Just Giggle It zone with the whole Twilight Zone parody feels very Brian Wiley, and of course Krampus, just a lot of classic comedy, like the whole kind of like a Red Riding Hood. Sort of thing, like what big teeth you have, like Krampus. What is that big sack you're carrying?
Right.
Yeah, something along those lines. Okay, keep us going.
Okay, so she continues. She goes into the fridge and gets yogurt, and reaches into the drawer, sees there's no spoons, and lo and behold, all the dishes are dirty.
Okay, now
Dramatic
here's.
music.
No, go on.
Oh, I'm just saying, we get that kind of Ren and Stimpy, like, duh, duh, when we see the dirty dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, so, Poncioooooo.
Okay, hold on a second. As much as I love to praise Ponzi here. Okay, here's the one thing that bugs me about this. Okay, I got like a very mini inane rant for this because I rarely have the opportunity to do so. Just because again, they're so awesome and perfect most of the time. Okay, now I'm sure Jeff Thomas is gonna be like rolling his eyes at this, and I don't blame him. It's very stupid, very inane, but it's something that kind of bugs me personally. I think they changed Poncioooooo's name in this, and they kept the outtake in the last take of this because she says, "What name did you hear her call, Tiki?"
You know what? I noticed the same thing. Like, there's two characters in this. There's a Carrie and a Gary, and it's hard to keep track of who's who.
Well, that's the thing, Tiki. I don't think there's a. Okay, look, I'll admit I could be entirely mistaken here, and if so, I apologize for bringing it up. But here's the thing: I think. I think she just got Poncioooooo's name wrong. I think she says Gary and then calls him Carrie. I think here's the thing. At first I heard Carrie. And I was like, okay, so his name's Carrie. And then later on, again, she's referring to Poncioooooo. Later on, it sounds like she says Gary. She says the other name more than once. It keeps sounding like Gary consistently. Like, wait a minute, is it Gary or Gary?
Well, that's the thing. I thought she was referring to a different character when she says Gary.
Of course. Now, if you're right, then that's the thing. I don't know if but that's the thing. There's multiple roommates, so you might be right. But it's just really, it's kind of bad. I don't know. It's the way that it's like a little faux pas, possibly. It's a little thing. Then I'll leave it at that, or I won't harp on it anymore. It's just a little thing that just personally bugged me when I was going back and watching. Like, wait a minute, is it Carrie or Gary? What is it?
All right.
Anyway, inane rant aside, again, full disclosure, very inane, really stupid. Does not take away from this. Let's just keep going. So, Poncioooooo enters the fray. Yes.
Okay, so she's saying Gary/Carrie, it's your day to do dishes. What gives? How can I possibly eat my yogurt without a clean spoon? And by the way, Dragon, I love the mundanity of that. Like, we've got this stockpile full of dishes, but all she's worried about is a spoon. I'm like, dude, just take the spoon over the freaking drain. It'll be fine. Just run some water over it. It'll take you like 10 seconds. If that's what you're concerned about, then just.
But again, it's like she's arguing like the principle of it, of like, you didn't.
Oh, I know. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of subtle humor there, with like, she's arguing the principle, but what she really wants is just the spoon, which she could easily clean a spoon. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, and also Ponce, a little, again, if there are Easter eggs in Poncioooooo, again, I don't think it's an intentional Easter egg, but just for us, the Harley Quinn and Joker fans that we are. Hey, Poncioooooo's wearing a Batman shirt.
Oh, God.
Maybe, and okay, I'm going to go for, you ready for this? You can buckle up. You ready for this? Okay.
Oh, so, no, I don't think I am, but go ahead.
So, if I'm going to just prepare to be wild here. Okay, so.
Okay. God.
Okay, if we go back to the JustGiggleIt sketch. The Monsters Drink parody, the parody of Monsters Drink. I remember this because Joshua Thomas, he pointed out like the Easter egg that we missed. Very foolishly on our part, we missed this. There's an Easter egg in the background where it was the Heath Ledger Joker image. There was a paint, like a little, almost like a painting or like a photo that's hung up on a wall of the Heath Ledger. It's like the DVD image. It's like the whole like Joker bleeding into the background. That one, just Heath Ledger.
Yeah, right.
And it's in the background there, and of course, Christopher Nolan in his career, it was a complete accident. But what happened is, in his first film, The Following, there is the bat symbol, the classic oval, the bat symbol, the bat logo, is on like a dorm door. It's hung up on a wall or it's on a door. So I think it's like the door of a room somewhere. And again, like years later, he would go on to do Batman. So they had that little Joker reference there. And of course, years later. We had Harley Quinn the Joker, and again, I wonder if this thing with Ponce is like, and years later, he's going to be in Harley Quinn the Joker versus the real world. Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, she asks him why he didn't do the dishes, and he says, "Well, it's my cheat day."
Again, I love just kind of like the just the nonchalantness of Poncioooooo in this, like, oh, it's my cheat day. That's so funny. Anyway, so actually, here's the thing I want to bring. In terms of the comedy, I really want to highlight here. And I hope this was intentional. If not, it's still really funny to me. I just love that the way Poncioooooo is delivering this. I think it speaks to some great writing in this. And I think the writing in this moment, it feels almost like a and Ponce. It's the writing and Poncioooooo's delivery. It's one of the two, if not both, of it's like it feels like a Garfield comic strip or a Peanuts comic strip. It feels very much like Garfield Peanuts comedy, where it's like a character walks in and they ask, "Hey, why didn't this?" or "What are you doing?" or "Why didn't this happen?" And you have like the very like a Linus or a Garfield response here from Poncioooooo of just saying, "Oh, it's my cheat day." It's one of those like, "Wait a minute, something's." It just feels like comic strip comedy, and I love it.
For sure.
So again, then he walks out just to the next scene. As he walks out, and she says, "Where are your pants?" Cheat day.
Cheat day.
That to me, that's the Poncio magic. See, from this point forward in the thing, Tiki, all he has to do is say cheat day, and it works. It's magic right there. That's all he has to do in this point. It's like cheat day, and he delivers it. It's a line that on paper, I don't. On paper, this thing must seem stupid. On paper, this thing must seem, who, Brian, why, what were you thinking when you wrote this? But again,
on paper, it's brains.
Yeah, exactly. On paper, it's brains and execution. Execution, it all comes together. I'm just sure this looks like, wait, what was he thinking? Brian, did you forget to write the sketch over the weekend? You just wrote this on your way here? But again, it's like it's like new, I guess. It's all gonna work fine, guys. Just let's do it up. Do what's on the paper. It'll all be fine. I don't know. So anyway, yes. Okay, so again, Poncioooooo's walking around no pants. Let's see. So then we have. So then we meet the third roommate. So again, so we're in the next scene. Poncioooooo's sitting down again before she can rail into him. Then we enter the third roommate, who again he's played by Sager Sheikh. Who again I know I'm butchering it. I'm always convinced I'm butchering this guy's name. Every time I look up how to pronounce his name, I'm always butchering it. So for apologies to Sager Sheikh if I'm ever going to get that right. Doesn't anyway. Point is, this guy who may be Carrie or Gary, so I think it's about even.
Right.
It's kind of an even playing field there. It might all just be me, so I'll acknowledge that right now. But the point is, okay, so what is our third roommate? What is our third Gary / maybe Carrie? What is he?
Well, he used the bathroom and he clogged the toilet. But don't worry, it's his cheat day, so he's gonna let them deal with it.
Yep. So now, the idea. So now, the Just Giggle fashion again. We're keeping the build going with the cheat day idea. So it's spread like a virus. And again, Nicole has started it. So Becky here, she started this little cheat day monstrosity, and then we have again. There's really good acting here too. Just so hilarious. Again, here's the thing. I love half of this gag. T. I love half of this gag. The other half is like, it's not bad. Right. It's not my taste. So I love where he takes Becky's head here. Says, "Hey, come here. Come here." He's all soft and all compassionate. Everything. "Hey, come here." Becky freaks out. I just love the way he holds her head in his hands. I don't know why. It just looks funny. He says, "Come here. Maybe you need a cheat day from worrying so much about everything." Just great. "Oh, I probably should have washed my hands first." And then basically what happens is, okay, here's the thing. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think this, a part of me loves this joke here. Okay, a part of me loves, I love what Nicole Stone does here. Her reaction to, every time, basically the realization of, oh my God, I don't know if it's the direction, the editing, or, I don't know if it's the direction or just, her improvising this or what. But basically, each motion he makes with his hands, putting them together and doing all that after he says, I should have washed my hands first. It's like her realizing, oh my God, again, as any of us would, oh my God, you didn't wash your hands, and you're touching her on the face and everything. Oh God. And basically her reaction. The thing that kills me about it is her screams are so perfectly timed, it's so perfectly timed. It reminds me of one of my favorite Just Giggle sketches with the Making a Murderer parody, the Ken Kratz Story Hour. Because that's the moment I fell in love with Piper Hinson as a performer on Just Giggle It when she screams at oh shit, he wants to play. She freaks out at him. I don't know what it's like. It's a well-timed scream, but I'm not. I think the poo joke's a little forward. Basically, it's basically after this is when it goes off the rails. This is where it's okay, we just use some cheap bathroom humor for a laugh here, where we're doing the whole cheat day thing where basically we get into a chorus of cheat day where it's like, oh, give me a hand, oh, a smelly hand. It's like, oh man, that's not right. Dude, that's the part of it. I'm loving like the scream comedy. This is like, okay, now we're just getting a little now we're just getting a little weird with it.
Yeah.
Then Mark enters. Mark played by Brian Wiley himself, I believe. He enters. So what happens?
I'm sorry, I'm drinking. What's Nicole Stone's character name?
Becky.
Becky, right. So she's complaining about the roommates being lazy and gross, and
this is my favorite part of the whole thing. By the way, this thing kills me. This and whole cheat day, just that again. It's so quotable and so funny.
All right, so we see another woman with this guy, just kind of like just leering over him, like, "Hey, are you gonna take me up to the bedroom?"
So I'm convinced again, if there are Easter eggs in this, which again I'm very lost on what the Easter eggs are, but there's one Easter egg I'm sure I found here. I think it's Piper Henson playing the chick on the side from Ryan Gosling's funeral.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah.
Like she just has that great gag in that one where she's kind of like slides in the background of the frame. So I'm Ryan. Basically, you have like Ryan's girlfriend or like Ryan's son or other, and it's just I'm Ryan's chick on the side. Basically, I think she's playing that character here, where it's Piper Henson coming in as I'm just gonna call her like chick on the side, where it's Piper Henson being all. It's so hard to describe. This is gonna sound so silly, but she's acting so a fairy. If that makes any sense, so like she's the girl on the side. She's very much like acting all seductive and like yeah, I'm the girl doing the illicit stuff on the side. Yeah, I'm the affair girl. It's kind of what she's. I think it's like she distilled it to a performance, it's like if you play it more a fairy, it just feels like it works.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, hey, Marky, and it's like she's twirling the ear and everything. She's playing it perfectly. It's like, hey, Marky, should we go back to the bedroom now? And then, of course, we have this is where it all comes home. This is the gag of the whole thing right here. Which is where Becky asks, Mark, have you been cheating on me? And again, like the minute she said that, like, okay, I know where this is going, and this is great. I was wondering at the start. Are they going here? Then I thought, okay, this is going to be a diet thing, and it just keeps going and unfolding. And then we get to the point where you thought I wasn't going to go for the obvious joke, but it is. But it's going to make it work, and that's kind of what this one did here, where it's like, no, I haven't. It's just my cheat day. So then we have this.
What all is Dragon? I feel like the real unsung quality of this sketch is probably the fact that as the scenarios get more and more insane, the attitude from the people claiming the cheat day is exactly the same.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, and then basically it's all adding to this great psychodrama that again, kind of the Ren and Stimpy, if it all comes to a head here with Nicole.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of like a Ren meltdown. I didn't even think about that.
I mean, this is like the whole when Ren was in space and he was floating with the bars. Like, my ice cream bar. This is my ice cream. It's like one of those things. It's like that.
My ice cream bar.
I've had this ice cream bar since I was a little child. I'm sorry, we're getting very off point with this.
Of course, Dragon, my favorite Ren rant is one that you and I wrote.
Oh yes, right.
Where basically it was back in the days when we were gonna see that like Nickelodeon crossover movie, and we were wondering if it was gonna be either hand drawn or in CGI, and we had this vision of a scene where hand drawn Ren is talking to like an executive or something, and he's like, "They're going to make me into triangles. It's triangles. They're so pointy. Pointy."
I think I added the pointy part of that. I think that's the thing. I can never. I know most of that was I keep thinking I added the. I might have had. I don't know if I had the trans, but I know I had the pointy. I know. Anyway.
All right, we're getting way off track here.
Yes. Anyway, so my point with the Ren reference that we're getting to this great psychodrama. Basically, again, the thing that she basically invested into this universe here, like the idea of cheat day from starting with Poncioooooo and just kind of spreading like wildfire to everyone around her. And also a little semantical thing, not a problem. It's going to maybe wonder what your take on this is. So Mark comes in and says, "You're a roommate. So do you think she's living with her boyfriend? Therefore, she's become a roommate, or you think they're just all coincidental, like 4 roommates of this big old house?"
I took it as she's living in the house, but I don't know, Jake. I don't know, Dragon. Hey, I called you Jacob for a change instead of calling Jacob Dragon.
Yeah, I noticed that recently. You kept calling him by my name. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's an ongoing issue I have, Dragon. That what can I say? When you do way more podcasts with me than anyone else on the channel, I kind of have a tendency to call everyone else Dragon. So
If I were a petty man, I'd come up with a series of fake names to call you, but I'm above that, so I'm not going to do that.
right.
Anyway, getting back to this. So the point is, we have the psychodrama, a big payoff at all here. We have this great spinning camera angle as everybody, again, they're doing, basically it's a chorus of cheat days.
This is awesome cinematography and choreography right here.
It is. So I love the best way I can describe it is they're doing kind of like an Egyptian painting style, like cheat day kind of high five here. It's like an Egyptian.
It's like a triple high five. Like Poncioooooo's sitting on the couch, the other two are standing up. They're like trading high fives. Like it's like a line of high fives.
And I noticed this on a rewatch. Piper Henson doing sort of like this half-hearted go-go dancer move in the background. It's really hard to tell, but it's like she's like.
Oh really? Oh my god! I'll have to look at that. That's great.
I mean, she's like shifting back and forth. So it's not like it's not. She's kind of like, it looks like she's dancing. It might just be like just kind of. I don't know.
I'm going to try and pull it up right now. Hold on. Yeah, you're kind of like just shifting back and forth. She's like half-heartedly into it.
Like the half-hearted go-go dance of cheat day, right now.
That's great. That's priceless. Piper Henson's adorable.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so again, like this back and forth high five thing is like cheat day, and as is going on, we have this great spin around to again the big payoff it all here where she's lost. It's like, oh, look at what I've created just because I wanted to eat a cupcake. Why? And so but again, I love this. She composes herself and she's like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here. Where basically Becky kind of loses here. Says, stop it, all of you. I'm not taking this. I'm taking a cheat day from all of you. So she leaves the house, and outside the house, she's approached by Joshua Thomas as a perch snatcher.
God.
Oh, are you okay? He snatches. Hey there, are you okay? He played like one of those guys you interview in like a trailer park or something. Just like, so what happened? What happened to the tornado pass? Like, oh, well, he was this. Honestly, what I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking of the monsters. I doubt he was pulling from this one because we mentioned Monsters Drink earlier. I'm thinking of like the whole like the kind of the kooks and kind of like the crank call sort of thing where they're who escaped in Monsters Inc. and they're doing all the interviews with the people on the street. What did you see? Well, I saw the human child lift me up and shook me like a bowl of Jello. All that sort of stuff. Just that, anyway, like one of those like kind of the closed head injury type interviews, kind of playing it like that. It's gonna seem like, all right, hey there, are you okay? Anyway, he snatches the person, he runs off, and then she's like, this can't be happening. And of course, she sees a cop kind of outside, kind of loitering on his foot post, like mid walking down the street, patrolling things. And it says, can I get any help here? And we reveal the cop it's Sipka.
It's Sipka.
It's Sipka snacking on something. I have no earthly idea what this is. Tiki, do you have any idea what he's eating? Because I don't know. It's like, you got any ideas? Yeah, because I don't know if it was like instantly I'd go for the donut, but I know stereotype, unfortunate. But I mean, who doesn't like a donut? I think
let's just call it shawarma and call it a day.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's the thing. It was either donut or shawarma. That's the thing. Because it's going all over the place. Like it's like some weird burger or shawarma. It's probably shawarma. I think you're right. Anyway, so he's chowing down.
I was just joking with the shawarma thing, but yeah, sure, let's go with it.
That was the only 3 things I could think of. It's donut, burger, shawarma. I don't know.
All right.
Mystery. I don't know. The point is, so he's chowing down something, getting all over the place. Anyway, as he's doing that, his response with his mouth full is cheat day. It's my cheat day. So this is the big payoff, the big punchline of it all, and we have like the classic music, like dun 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 dun. It's the classic. Little nitpick though, and I point this out only because it's there's a mistake on the costuming here. I'm saying this because we see this all the time, and usually we see this gotten right so many times. Like a little thing, it's an easy mistake to make, but Sippy is wearing long sleeves as a cop here, but he's missing a tie. If you're wearing a long sleeves as a cop in the LAPD, you need to wear a tie.
Uh-huh.
It's like basically if you see I think the same thing goes for New York. But if you're a cop in New York or LA, specifically LA, long sleeve you have to wear the tie, little tie bar and everything. If you're wearing short sleeves, then you don't have to wear a tie. So I think they either got their wires crossed or most likely it's like we don't care. We're at the end of the sketch. Who cares? And they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Like basically, if anyone watches Blue Bloods as much as I do, and I think they're going to notice. Anyway.
Oh God.
Anyway, so he twirls his gun, and like dun, 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 twirling the gun. That's the end.
Also, Dragon, there's one missed opportunity. I think is that how funny would it have been if when Joshua Thomas grabbed the purse, he just ran off, and then like off camera, you hear him yell, "Cheat day!"
Would have been hilarious. Oh god! But again, we need Sipka to have that last cheat day line. But you know what? If they did like if they did a thing at the end, like did like one of the subscriber tags, then we could have Joshua Thomas saying cheat day. Maybe that's how they could have worked it. And I don't know. All right.
That'll round it out, folks. Final thoughts, Dragon?
Again, I think it has the Wiley stamp of cleverness and kind of the elbow grease worked in the direction that I'm getting a kick out of. The execution of the comedies, again, kind of that Wiley stamp as well. I mean, the guy knows his beats and he knows his beats to hit. Again, it's not the most impressive the work that he's done, but I mean, again, as a Just Guild sketch in the grand scheme, not the best, but it's solid. Poncioooooo, in regards to Poncioooooo, I think he takes the seed of the joke and smartly, again, he's nurturing it until it explodes with kind of the big punchline of it all. So, I think it's Poncioooooo kind of doing a really good job again because he kicks off the whole cheat day virus that kind of spreads through the whole thing. So he's very pivotal to this, and I think he's doing his job very well there. He basically it's like an explosion that becomes a celebration. I think it all taps in great to this kind of psychodrama thing that I really hope is like intentionally Wiley kind of trying to replicate kind of the cartoon style of Ren and Stimpy. That's my little personal hope, but regardless, I think it does the job, but it doesn't wow you a lot, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, Dragon, talking through this one, I appreciate it more talking through it than I did just watching it a couple times on my own. I think it definitely has some, I feel like it kind of it's one of those like kind of building block sketches where it's sort of one of those sketches that built on, it laid the groundwork for bigger and better things to come, I feel.
Yeah.
But, one of the things I didn't really appreciate until this conversation was the kind of the old school comedy vibe to the whole thing. And you're right, it does have a very old school comedy vibe. And I feel like that makes me appreciate it more. So.
All right. Well, that about does it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all for now, folks. Until the next reach into the Just Giggle It grab bag.
Cheat day!
Cheat day!
Cheat day! Cheat day! Cheat day!